What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on a glorious and well-deserved day off, and we're looking at a new angle right now. And that reason that we're looking at that angle is because I got a new piece of gear in, and I want to share it with you guys. So, for those of you that don't know who this guy is right here, I am a huge supporter of this man. This is Guardian Warrior Solutions, which is owned by an active duty law enforcement SRT SWAT officer out of Wyoming who is making some super cool gear for everybody out there. Most of the stuff you would know him for would be his bang hanger and smoke wagon, which are his holster mounting solutions that are made out of curved material. Used to be made out of Tigris, that are incredibly lightweight. He just released the new stiffener plates for it, or the stiffener plates that have mounting solutions for tourniquets and stuff on them. He makes amazing gear. He's a great guy, super nice, chill fella. And we're starting to see these a lot, coming with a lot of OEM stuff, and this kind of led to it. So this is curved material, which is very similar to Tigris. It's incredibly strong, very lightweight, very low profile. And this is known as the Too Short. What this allows me to do is mount anything that would have a bolt pattern onto here and then turn that bolt pattern item into a fixed MOLLE system with what he has here. But he offers some other cool items, this being chief among them. This is the bum bag. Now, I was always a proponent as a law enforcement officer of carrying a belt-mounted dump pouch. And the reason for that is because sometimes when you take people to jail, you search them and they have things on them that they can't take to jail or are seriously illegal. Use your imagination. That could be firearms, it could be weapons, it could be contraband of some kind. You would then seize that stuff, and you basically have two options while you're patting a guy down. Option one being sit it on the hood of your truck where it will roll off or blow away in the Nebraska wind, or you put it in your pocket or something like this. I like a belt-mounted dump pouch because it gives me the option to secure their materials, whether that be a wallet, ID, money, cash, contraband, firearms, what have you. And I have a secured solution. Now, the original version, which this is, had a tech lock on the back, which meant that I could pop this on and off of my belt system, so I could, whatever I had, I could take this off and put it in there. But this guy had some cool stuff. And again, this is the prototype. So what I had was a roll-up dump pouch, and on its surface on the front of this guy, there is this pocket. This pocket is a spot for me to put a set of nitrile gloves, which is freaking awesome because you need those. And then the inside, I have a couple of other things too that are very unique to his design of a dump pouch. Very law enforcement focused in the thing. Now, I know Flatline Fiber Co. makes dump pouches, and I love their dump pouches that have some organization built into them, but nothing the way this is done, because this is designed for a very, very specific group of people. This is not the dump pouch that you want to run around on the range and look super cool because you need to keep your tactical snacks at the ready. This is the dump pouch for law enforcement because we have a very specific set of needs, and this thing meets those needs. So first off, on the back of this guy that would be mounted to me, you see that old Tigris material there. There is this pocket here. Now, this is a pass-through pocket that has one function and one function only. That function, we have a clear revolver here. That function would be to take something like this revolver that I have seized off of a guy who did something royally stupid and secure that into the belt. This is much easier when it's mounted on you. Secure that onto here. It can't flop around now inside of my pouch until I get to where I'm going so that I can, secure it where it needs to be. That is a really cool option. But the more important and more impressive thing for a guy like me is here on the front, and it's this little pocket. This little pocket has enough room in there for me to store evidence bags. Now, for those of you that have never seen them before, this is what an evidence bag looks like. We would typically use these when we would see some sort of contraband that would alter your mental state. Now, the original version of this bag, which this is, had a couple of issues. That being the way this front pouch was for the gloves was not very secure. There was also a very, very, very short loop field, and this would pop open on my belt all the freaking time. But when I ordered in all my new stuff to get my hands on a lot of the new gear, the stiffener plates and stuff he had, plus I needed some more bang hangers, I reached out to him and he hooked it up with the new version. So this is the production version of the Guardian Warrior Solutions bum bag. So what I have on this guy, it's a much flatter profile. You could see it just compared to how it folded up. But on the front, instead of that weird Velcro pouch, I actually have, it's still Velcro, but it's elastic. So that means I'm going to get a little bit of a better fit, more retention. I also have a much longer loop field on here. Tigris material for my mounting solutions. And then inside of the bag, I still have those two very important pockets for me. So in those pockets on the front, he's actually made this bigger, which is nice because that was a very tight fit in the older ones. And I have just a hard elastic piece here to secure that firearm, which is nice because you saw me struggle trying to get that revolver in there. So that is the bum bag itself. This is a one-purposed solution for law enforcement guys out there that sometimes we got to take things from people. And when you take those things from people, you don't want them to blow away because you live in a place where the wind treats things being vertical as a personal challenge. So the first thing you're going to need to do is come up with a mounting solution for this guy. You have this here, and you could pair that with something like his Adapt 2 system, which would allow me to bolt this guy on and then hard put it onto my belt. I don't want to do that because being able to remove this to get the stuff in a different place is super important. So what I have elected to go with is the Blade Tech 360 Tech Lock, right? So the mini Tech Lock. Now, this comes on the Molly sticks from Blade Tech. I will actually be replacing these Molly sticks with the Adapt 2 Micro, which is for a 2-inch Molly belt, which is what my Blue Alpha Duty Belt Light is. These work fantastic for that. This is an ultra lightweight thing. Also, his bang hangers are awesome. And the part of this that actually mounts to the bag itself is this 360 clip here. So the way this works is this is attached to the bag. I would insert this in, and this guy on here will lock up. Sorry, I don't have it on there. So there we go. We're locked up. This doesn't twist. This doesn't move, but I can remove it simply by pushing down and sliding this out. Game changer, right? Freaking awesome. But first things first, we got to mount this guy to here. So you're going to get some Chicago screws when you order this guy in. But I will tell you, at least mine didn't come with it, you will need 4 of these rubber grommet guys. So what we're going to do first is you got to figure out how this actually mounts up. For me, it mounts in this X pattern right here, and I want it mounted on the forward part of it so that it sits further back when it's mounted. So I'm going to take my first Chicago screw, insert that guy through the hole, put on a rubber grommet, and then go ahead and screw this guy in. Not tight, we're just getting it started. Now, for that, I used my super cool, very awesome, and amazing multitasker twist. This is probably one of the coolest multi-tools on the market. You see we have an aim point tool on the top. Back of it screws off. I have a thread in spot for a cleaning rod if I needed it for a handle, but I also have a pick, a scraper, and a punch, all of which screw into that little hole. And then I have the magnetic bit hider holder on this side, and it comes with a full assortment of bits. You'll even notice that there is an AR-15 front sight tool on there. Love these guys. Multitasker twist, probably one of the coolest pocket available things you can get. So now that we've got that started on here, let's go ahead and get the next guy on, because we don't want to tighten this down because it requires a little bit of moving back and forth. So we got that guy on. Now we're gonna take this washer, get it on there, and we're gonna come back and try to get that lined up just so. And again, we're just trying to get the screws started. We don't actually want a lot of pressure, because if you do, you won't be able to move this or twist it around to make it fit better. So go ahead and get the third guy in. Get my rubber grommet on there. Barely start that guy. Take my fourth one. this. Now this is the part that's kind of a pain because you got to kind of wedge this guy in here. Because again, they don't stick like on the Chicago screw. Now, I mean, I guess maybe if you had another option, but what I'll do is I'll take my screwdriver and I'll just kind of finagle the screwdriver in there to create the space I need to get my Chicago screw up through the bottom. Go ahead and pop my last one on there. And now we're on. Now the rubber grommets are going to produce a ton of resistance, which means that you don't really need to lock these guys down. But what I'll do is I'll get a good tightening on all of the screws now that I have it where I want it, so that I meet some decent resistance on the rubber grommet itself. And I'm not holding any bit on the inside, I'm just holding on to it. So one last tighten on this guy, we'll crisscross this guy, just like we're putting lug nuts on a tire. So boom, there we go, that's on there. Now again, with its mounting solution, this would be on my belt, and I can take this guy and just drop it on there. And that's super secure, it's not coming off. I just pull down on that tab, it pops right back out. So to finish setting this guy up, I need to take my evidence bags right here. Gonna fold them up nice and small. Gonna put them in that front pocket right there. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go ahead and fold her up because we know how it's gonna work. And then I need my gloves. Again, this is elastic, which is a very smart idea. Take a pair of my nitrile gloves. And just shove them down inside of that elastic. And then there we go. We are now completely set up to mount this guy on my belt, and it's not really difficult to do, guys. Guardian Warrior Solutions, he is putting out just amazing stuff. You got to think, this right here has the exact same capabilities those two giant MOLLE sticks do. Look at how much lower profile this is. And this is super durable, very strong. I remember when he was testing out the curved material for the new bang hangers, they were doing pull-ups off of these guys and it wasn't deforming. I've been running a bang hanger specifically on my belt systems for a year. It is one of the best decisions I have ever made. The best part about it is for those of you that are like me that are running a MOLLE belt, I can position that farther forward, which means it doesn't come back. I don't have to worry about my belt loop moving back and forth because it's MOLLE'd in. And I am using his new stiffener plates as well. So that's that, guys. That's what we're looking at. And then next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab one of my Tek-Lok base plates, which is this guy here. So this is the actual Tek-Lok receiver. I'm gonna take that Tek-Lok receiver and that's gonna get mounted there. The best part is I can actually show you guys how this works. So I'm gonna line it up, and right there, I have 4 mounting holes that are perfectly lined up right here across the top and including 2 at the bottom. So I could actually do them on all 4 corners right here to make this ultra, ultra, ultra secure. That is freaking awesome. And I love the ingenuity that has allowed this to take place. He is doing some crazy good stuff out there. He's a fantastic dude, great dad, great cop. And he is genuinely making gear that makes your job better as a law enforcement officer. So again, this is not for everybody. This is not your range belt pouch. This is absolutely the piece of gear if you're an LEO that you did not know you needed, and I'm here to tell you today, you need it. Guardian Warrior Solutions, this is the bum bag. Check him out. He's an awesome dude. I fully support what he does. He keeps making just rock solid, amazing stuff. And if you see these with your gear that are coming in, this is also Guardian Warrior Solutions. But he makes soft gear too, and he makes super awesome stuff. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Hopefully you found this informative. Go check my boy out. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And until next time, I'll see you later.